Well, hello MGTOW. Welcome back to my truck. Today I got a few things in mind. I want to talk about the bait and switch that some of these channels, the MGTOW or so-called red pill channels, are just putting out there, because that's what it is. It's just a bait and switch. I've been in this manosphere for about a year and a half now, and you know, I saw these guys. They started a channel, right? And it was all, you know, classic MGTOW stuff. They would put out good content pertaining to philosophy, and you know, our group was small here, right? There weren't that many people involved. But what some of these guys did was they saw an opportunity to make money. They saw that, you know, it wasn't, you know, the older guys that they were trying to share the MGTOW knowledge with, right? It wasn't the majority of them listening. It was more younger guys, and so they started catering to these young people, you see, and they switched up. And I remember the first, you know, switch up videos from one of these particular quote-unquote MGTOW content producers, right? I remember when you know, when it all turned towards traditionalism, right? As if I don't know what that was, right? As if I didn't know what it was. But there was a chance to make money, right? And you got other guys out there, and they're writing books, and they have Patreon accounts, and they have, you know, this and that and the other. And let me tell you something, okay? I don't give a damn about any of that crap. See, to me, this small channel here, it's about helping out some guy that may just happen to kind of, you know, come across the internet, going through some bullshit in the relationship, and he needs help, and he doesn't even know that he needs help. You see? And I'm not gonna charge that guy a penny for giving advice, you know. And if you ever hired a professional to do anything, I mean, if you ever hired a plumber, if you ever hired you know, an attorney, if you ever hired especially those professionals in the financial arena, right? If you ever hired a financial planner or a tax advisor, or you name it, you know that there's very little correlation between what one person charges and the quality of their work as compared to what another person charges and the quality of their work. There's little correlation, you know, within that that specification, you know, that specific group of people. Now, of course, there's a difference. You know, there's a huge difference between, you know, say you hire an accountant and you hire, you know, an electrician, right? There's a difference in pay there. But what I'm saying here is that, you know, since there's no correlation between the advice given and the amount charged, you know, it's not that you're not getting any better advice because they're charging you guys. That's what I'm saying. You know, you are not getting any better advice because you're being charged. And you know, I share the sentiment of another content producer out here. He had a live stream, and he said that, you know, if there's a guy out there with 25 ways for you to give him money, then you gotta question his motives. You gotta really think about what it is that you're listening to, you know. MGTOW, men going their own way, right? They're criticizing me because I speak of freedom. They say, oh, I want to be the leader of the free world, right? And they say that, you know, I'm afraid because I don't show my face. Well, the argument is the same. It has the same value. right? Whether I show my face or not. The face, showing the face, may give some credibility to what I have to say, right? Because I'm putting a face behind the statements that I'm putting out there, right? But it's also, in my opinion, unnecessary risk. Okay? And I don't know about you, but I'm a very conservative person, and I'm not gonna, life is, you never know what sort of twist life will have in the future. See, or what opportunities may present themselves to you, and for us to be talking about this here, right? And I'm not saying anything wrong. I haven't said anything wrong. I'm not, bashing women for the most part. I don't even swear in many of my videos, right? I don't use profanity. That's what I mean to say. But I do have some dissenting views, real dissenting views, from what mainstream society is accustomed to. And I don't know. I mean, we don't know if tomorrow we get a woman president here in the United States. Or if the United States turns into a totalitarian regime, right? Led by women, right? We don't know. Things can change, right? In this, if you're old enough to remember, 20 years ago, right? This thing that we're fighting now, right? This last wave of feminism wasn't anywhere near as bad as it is now, and you can argue that it wasn't even in existence. So the future can bring opportunity as well as danger, and I think it's unnecessary for someone who's putting their this advice out here to bring you this knowledge to show their face. This argument about whether you show your face, you don't show your face, whatever. I mean, there are content producers out here who never showed their face, and they were the very first MGTOW, right? And they never showed their face, but they put out quality content. Quality content is what it's all about. And I see other channels. They're crappy channels. Their arguments are full of holes, right? They have never picked up a book on a proper way to think, or logical arguments, or making logical arguments, they have no concept of that, right? And they come out here and they want to produce MGTOW content. You see, and the content is shit. The content is crap, and they feed this garbage to the young, right? And young guys are impressionable. See, especially these guys that were raised by a single mother. They have no idea. They really don't. So enough of that. Then you have guys that make pretty videos. They make beautiful videos. I mean, they look nice on paper. I mean, on the screen. They got all these kinds of graphics or whatever, but there's no substance to them. The video doesn't, you don't really learn anything. So when you see the mind is just like the body. How is the mind like the body? You have to watch what you put in it. You see, if you feed your mind a lot of junk, a lot of superficial stuff, right? I mean, I can come out here and bullshit you, right? If that's what you like, but that's not my style, and I'm not gonna bullshit you so I can make money, because that's what these guys are doing. But anyways, like I was saying, the mind requires that you put content. It feeds on information. That's the nutrient for the mind, information, right? And if you feed the mind junk, eventually what's going to come out of your mouth is going to be junk. You know, your actions are gonna be junk. So you have to be very careful about what it is that you put in your mind, right? Avoid the flashiness, right? All the flashy stuff, all the sexy stuff, you know. That most of it is not even worth you considering, you know. You want insight when you choose to watch a video, or to read a book, or to watch a movie, or to read a magazine, or to listen to a speech. You have to go for, you know, an insight. You have to go for understanding, you know, a deeper understanding of the topic that's at hand. You know, anybody can be superficial, right? Anybody can go and look up a couple of numbers and say this is that, right? But insight is what's needed in the manosphere, and that's not coming along too well lately, you know. So you put in good quality content in your mind, and you become a quality human being. That's how things work, you know. You know, your aim is to go as deep into a subject as possible, right? In order to fully understand it. And when you do that, what happens is that you become more tolerant of different views. You know, it's what's called a real education, right? You take into consideration all the opposing arguments, right? As well as the side arguments, and the people that, you know, that make arguments that are not so mainstream, right? You take all that into consideration, then you make up your mind, right? If you only listen to one guy, right, because he sounds good, because he tells you that that everything's gonna be all right, right? And I have put out videos like that, you know, where I say, you know, things are not gonna be as bad as they appear to be, right? But then there are videos when I'm not, you know, so optimistic. You see? But what I'm saying is here is you should listen to different people. See? And get a real education. A real education, right? Only then can you make up your mind. You have to understand the arguments being made by, you know, different people. Anyways, it just, you know, it kind of makes me upset, because I've seen some of these guys, you know, they've been in the manosphere, you know, a year or so, right, and or maybe even less in some cases, and they're putting out content. I mean, I can put out a fucking video every day if I want to. Every day. Anybody can put out crappy video every day. You know, it doesn't take a genius to do that, right? But what am I gonna do? Repeat repackage the same thing that I already said 5-6 months ago, you know, over and over again, so I can make a new video? Because that's what some of these guys are doing, right? It leaves you with nothing to think about. You listen to one of these guys' videos, and it's like you listen to, you know, it's a combination of their previous 10 videos, right? It's the same story all the time. So I tend to think, you know, and I have put out videos that are not so popular out there. You know, I'm guilty of that as well. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I do tend to think before I put out a video. I try not to waste people's data, right? Allowance, or people's times. It's just not my style. So if, you know, subscriber numbers are irrelevant also, the way I see it. I mean, you got guys out here with tens of thousands of subscribers, and again, their content is iffy, you know. And you have guys with a few hundred subscribers, and their stuff is great, but they don't put out content all the time because they have a life. They don't just, you know, they don't just make money out of this. And some of these guys, you know, that are out for the money, right? They don't want to offend anybody. They don't want to offend the people at YouTube. They'll never get booted from the app, that's for sure. You know, they don't want to offend anybody because they don't want to threaten the money. You know, the flow of money. They don't want to stop it. That's what it's all about. You know, the ads, the revenue stream from whatever sources. You know, that's what it's all about. So they dare not offend anybody. You know, you got to be wary of these guys. And like I said, they've been in the manosphere for less than a year or so in some cases. Some of them a little longer or whatnot, but all of a sudden they're experts. It's like we don't remember that they were going through a divorce and they had red pill rage a little bit ago. You know, now they're experts. They're all experts and they're shelling out advice like they're experts. You know, so you got to be wary of these guys. Let me tell you something. I'm no expert, and there's no leader in this philosophy. You know, there are some guys that are willing to think, to put a couple of thoughts together, and to share those thoughts in a video, and you know, and it's your job to analyze those ideas, right? And to see if they go in accordance with what you want to believe and the kind of lifestyle you want to live. And you know, for crying out loud, you got to give up the idea of women, being what you want them to be, right? There was one guy that put a comment in my in one of my videos, and he said, well, in the medieval period, the Middle Ages, a man was guaranteed a certain parcel of land. He was guaranteed some land, so the woman had no incentive to go anywhere else. She just stayed with him. And I had to think, I didn't say anything, but I had to think, like, wow, like these guys really just want to pin the women down, I'm okay with being free, and I'm okay with not having a woman like me, I'm fine in my own skin. I don't depend on anybody for anything, So, what, they just want to, it's like they just want, like I said before in my, one of my other videos, it's, their world is a world of, dominating and being dominated. That's really what it is, what it's all about, the world of the traditionalist. When I started this channel, I expected to get a lot of, a lot of pushback from the feminists. And it turns out that it's the men that tend to fight me the most, especially the older guys, the traditionalists, right? And then you have the young guys, many of whom can't think for themselves because they've been put through school, right, for so many years, right? And that's all they knew, right? A way of agreeing with the teacher, right? And receiving information that's fed from up top. You have to question. People have to question the stuff that comes across their desk and consider it. Is this worth assimilating, right, as an idea? And what are the consequences of that? And but the traditionalists, to go back to these track-ons, they really just want to pin women down. They really do. I don't care. Women can do what they want. It's not my problem. I'm walking away. It's about freedom. It's about the freedom of men. You walk away, you don't get involved, right? And you have a nice life. It's too short. Life itself as it is too short. What do you got to worry about? Now, if they want you, if women decide that, men have walked away in mass, and they want you, then they have to abide by your rules, but what you want, right? You don't want a girl with tattoos. You want a girl that's virgin, or she's got low miles, right? You don't want a woman who's seen more pee-pee than a Walmart urinal, So, and you want somebody that you can, that's presentable, a woman that can eat at a table, right? Because, I mean, what a sad story. You take a girl out to a fine dining establishment, and she can't eat. She's talking with her mouth full, She doesn't know, what to use next, right? What fork, what knife, what spoon. She's all lost on the table, doesn't know where to put the napkin. It can be quite embarrassing because she has no education. And you got some of these guys out here, and they're saying, well, take her rights away. Take her education, her ability to get educated away, right? And I say, do you really want to live in a society like that where, as bad as women are already, you're gonna want them to be ignorant as well? It makes no sense to me. So, maybe they're just upset because of who pays for that education, right? Indirectly, the taxpayers is footing the bill, and hey, myself included, I work, So what I'm saying is, beware of these guys, right? That's the message for the day. Be wary of these guys that are out for the money. Don't give these MGTOW guys anything. I mean, no, as far as I know, it's just a camera and giving out advice. I'm not gonna bullshit you out, about upgrades. Oh, I need, X amount of dollars for an upgrade or whatever, And I'm not even suggesting that these guys work for free. If they don't want to give out advice, then don't fucking give out advice. That's it. You have to make money. Think about it. You have to make money to give out advice? Give me a break. Come on. I mean, not this kind of advice anyways. You can give advice doing whatever. I mean, it's a free market, I guess. Maybe I shouldn't get involved. I don't know. But I don't see the value in it, especially when I know that these guys were just the other day going through divorce, and now they're experts. They're experts in relationships, right? A year later, they're experts in relationships. They know more about everything than everybody else, and they're out to make money. So, let them make money. I'm not interested in that. I have enough. Like I said, I don't think am I independently wealthy, as they say, or whatever, where I don't know. It's my business is my business, but the issue is here, I don't need your money. I don't. I really don't. And it saddens me to see that, these unsuspecting guys are being taken advantage of by these crooks, because that's what they are. They're crooks. They don't even use the MGTOW name in their videos anymore, because they know that they're gonna get demonetized. That's the word, demonetization, demonetized, money monetized. So they're gonna that's the whole thing here, I'm not out to make a buck doing this, I can bullshit you. In fact, I'm gonna give you an example of what it can sound like now, because I can be a real good bullshitter if I want to be. I can be like, well, guys, all this time it's true that some women have misbehaved, right? This is me bullshitting you. Don't believe this. Women have misbehaved. Not every relationship has been perfect, but if you really want to, I mean, you have maybe you can make it work. Maybe it's just a matter of misunderstanding, right? We're misunderstanding each other. Maybe we're not really, we haven't really paid attention to the people that have been with us, since day one in this world, right? Our companionship, our true companionship, because that's what they are. Women are, our family members, our wives, our mothers, right? That's what they are. They're here with us, and what are we gonna do? I mean, we're not getting along right now, but that's because of feminism. That's because they've been brainwashed by the government, and all we have to do is talk to them and convince them that, hey, show them how they've been brainwashed, how they've been manipulated, and if we do that, it's very possible that we can come to an agreement as to how to better make relationships work, and blah 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 blah, you know, and you're gonna get your dick wet, because that's what it's all about. So it's so easy for anybody to do it. It's easy. It doesn't take a fucking genius to come out here and bullshit you. Don't give these fucking guys a penny. Don't give them a dollar of your money. Anyways, it's starting to snow out here, kind of heavy, and I wanna make sure that I make it to where I wanna go. So it's been a pleasure talking to you tonight, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thank you for watching, and if you do enjoy the content, consider subscribing. I'll catch you later, like I said. Bye bye.